Welcome to the Ugly Truth. This is episode, just kidding,
640. Ugh.
That was better than my chicken squawk.
Gobble, gobble. So this is our last show.
So excited.
And then we'll be taking some time off for the holiday.
I love Thanksgiving. It's my favorite holiday.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people are being very verbal about how they're not big fans of Thanksgiving because they don't like, you know, dry turkey and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay,
My
that's
turkeys
fine.
aren't dry, so
We're smoking a turkey this year, and then I will be, and I'm also going to do the traditional.
yes.
But I also would not be opposed to like a rib roast or something. I mean, that sounds delish.
I make a prime rib for Christmas every year.
Well, we do. That's what we do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, this year I'm making lasagna for Christmas.
Yum.
Yes.
Well, I love lasagna, but no one in my house will even eat a forkful of it, so I
What?
can't make it. I know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm making 2 actually.
Are you gonna make like a white sauce version? Ugh, my favorite.
White sauce lasagna is actually my favorite.
Mine too.
But everybody likes the old school.
The only problem I have
giant
with
brick of red sauce.
I do. Well, I can't lie. I don't like it.
I add sausage instead of hamburger.
I just don't like. We've talked about this on the show before, so I feel like a broken record. But at the end of the day, there's only one food that I was traumatized by as a child.
Oh,
and it was red spaghetti, marinara sauce and spaghetti.
Yeah.
That witch of a cunt of a stepmother
Yes.
made for me.
Yes.
And Dad made me eat it, and I was like wanting to throw up. So I cannot eat anything like that.
I hate spaghetti too.
I just can't do it.
I don't know. Well, I know why I hate spaghetti, but
Did you throw it up or something?
no, but it's equally as vile as what your experience
Okay.
was. Mom,
Mom. Oh, I know why.
she's just such a loving woman.
Oh, I forgot.
She used to let, I can't even talk about it.
I know,
She used to let spaghetti go bad in the refrigerator, and she would make me dispose of it.
Yeah.
Because when she was pregnant with me, all she ever wanted to eat was spaghetti, and then she would throw it up. And so somehow in her crazy brain, I deserved the responsibility of removing moldy spaghetti from the refrigerator.
And didn't she? I mean, I know this is gross, but didn't she even like make you flush it down the toilet?
Maybe
Like,
flush it down the toilet.
why couldn't you do it in the sink? I don't understand.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I'm the same. I'm just not indulging in the thought right now because if I do, you and I will
Deep
both
breath,
be
deep
gagging,
breath.
and we.
The last time she made me do that, I think I was 15, and I took it out and I said, I hope that you don't love this dish. She goes, why? I go, because I'm throwing it away. And I go, and I'm never doing this for you again.
Yeah.
And I went outside and I threw it away, and we never spoke of it again. I said, you're done doing this to me.
Yeah.
I don't know why you think this is funny, or that you think that it's my requirement because you were the fool that ate so much spaghetti that you threw up with me 15 years ago.
Wow, gosh.
I was furious.
I'm sure you were furious. And isn't it funny, though, that, like, just to lighten it up a little bit,
That was the beginning of my therapy.
that both of us have childhood trauma related to spaghetti with red sauce.
And Daryl loves spaghetti.
So does Jerry.
And I'm like, oh, that's too bad.
My son hates it, thank God. And
So-
he has no trauma attached to the reason. He just doesn't like it.
So you know what I do? I buy linguine.
well, it's
I
not,
can deal with
it doesn't
linguine.
matter the noodle. That's
It
the thing
does.
for me.
Oh, it's the red sauce in the mix. Just the whole.
It's just the whole concoction of that
yeah.
flavor profile that I can't do.
I love
So
white
it
sauce,
doesn't
though.
matter. Yeah. So me, I'm a white sauce
Alfredo.
girl altogether. The problem is that because I'm lactose intolerant,
Oh, you explode.
I can't eat. I want to eat a pound of it because it's so good to me.
Do the lactate pills not work?
No, they do. But you know what? When you're eating anything with heavy cream,
it doesn't matter.
Nothing cuts through that. Like
You're right.
You know, it's
You're
just
right.
an abomination.
Yeah,
So
it's
I can
true.
only eat it in small amounts. That's probably good because it's super fattening anyway.
so
It's all
fattening.
butter and cream
it's
and
pure joy,
Which is
what
why
it
it's so damn
It's like,
good.
What does joy taste like? Fettuccine Alfredo.
yeah,
basically.
fuck yeah. It was literally my favorite thing.
Yes, it
So.
is. Anyway, so yes,
Life is
Thanksgiving
cruel.
is coming. Obviously, I always invite you, but you have your traditions as well as me. So
I do.
We usually
well,
don't
I
cross
feel like
paths.
we should, you know, and there's no reason why we
should
can't
do Christmas.
change. We could either do Christmas or like what. Well, that's just a dumb idea because once you do Thanksgiving Day, you just have no energy to do anything else that's like a formal event. Even if it's just family, you're just exhausted. a lot goes into the planning and then the actual cooking and preparation and all that. And so then you're like, oh, so we're going to do a Friday dinner? No.
I have a very strange fantasy when it comes to Thanksgiving. And I've had it since the kids have gotten older. I've always envisioned that Thanksgiving would be at our house and that it would be so large that we'd have to get we'd have to get certain things catered. We'd have tables set up everywhere.
Oh, that'd be fun.
A buffet. I mean, I really want that so bad. And so
well, we could do that
as the kids get older and they have partners and children and in-laws, and I'm like, I want them all at my house. I want Thanksgiving to be the house where I have Thanksgiving.
Except for, why do we have all these kids that don't want kids?
I know.
All our kids don't want kids. Natalie's the only one.
It's weird because, Mackenzie really wants, and Tyler, both of them want children. Okay. They just have to find the right
partner.
And the time. I mean,
not for Kenzie, but yeah.
I mean, Mackenzie is going to take over the world.
I know.
So
when anyway, she can have time to be a mother.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's all having on my hip, and I'm like, I believe you.
But
I think you will.
I'm sorry. I had a kid at 38. She can still. It's
oh my God.
So possible.
The thing
I'm doing just fine, by the way, at 50.
They say that babies that are born now will live well over 100, no problem.
Yeah.
Like where our age is, really what it is we're taking care of our bodies better. Yeah. We're not, dying.
There's a lot more self-awareness. Yeah, absolutely.
Tons. Everybody's like, I guess we have to do this thing called yogging.
And it's all about prevention and screening and all those.
Go to your doctor regularly, get blood work, etc.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll see. But my goal is someday is that I want there just to be so many people at my house.
Yeah.
I think it'd be such a great tradition.
I would love it too. And
oh man, I want it so bad.
We have probably a couple of weddings still in our future at some point.
Oh, at least.
So yeah.
Well, according to my kids, I have 3 weddings in my future. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
So yeah,
we'll see.
Maybe one of them will be okay with having either an engagement dinner or some kind of here. Like that would be.
The only other thing is I have to forego Christmas if if I'm that demanding about Thanksgiving. I have to just say, live your lives
so that they can go with their other
or
people.
Do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
And I've even said that. I'm like, look, as much as I love it, I know that this is a short-lived thing. Like I know I'm not getting you for every holiday for my whole life.
I mean, I think the thing that turned for me, and I don't know about, we never did anything with our families, was having kids.
Yes, it does.
And then,
change.
in the beginning, even when they were really tiny, like it was okay to go to my then husband's parents.
Yes.
But then as we got older, it was kind of like, I want to do.
You want your own tradition?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's just something about waking up in the morning with your own kids.
It's so amazing.
It is amazing.
So I've even said that. I'm like, we have vowed to our kids that if and when they start having families, that we will come to them.
Yes.
I don't understand this whole bring them. I'm like, do you know how hard it is?
It is so hard. And the kids are always miserable. They want to fall asleep and they can't.
Well, and they don't have their stuff. They don't have their bed. They don't have their food and snacks. And
it's just easier on everyone if they're in their own if they're at their own place.
I mean, let's be real. When you go to visit or when you visit with your, family, and if you have kids, you spend a smattering of time with the babies, but reality is you want to see your children.
True.
You want to see your kids.
Well, you do it all. Yeah, it's true.
But you're not there going, okay, bye. I want to be with the grandbabies. No, that is not.
I mean, it's part. Yeah. So when Natalie
they're going to run off.
When Natalie came with her kids, I loved it because there's so many of us.
Yes.
So it's like when
you can pass them around.
You can pass them around, and then the kids are all playing with each other. Like only the kids want to play. They were like, "Leave me alone!
That's
Don't pick me up."
It's great.
Yeah, and then when they want to be held, you'd be like, okay, everyone's trying to give Natalie a break, and it's perfect.
It is perfect. I agree. But with that being said, we're not.
But you're right. You're not spending the entire day holding the babies.
No, you want to see your baby. Yeah, that's kind of the goal anyway.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so yes, Thanksgiving, the holidays have begun. The seasons have started.
I'm super excited.
I am super excited, to be fair.
Well, I'm never excited about Christmas because it just costs me so goddamn much money.
He has all the things.
He does have all the things. You know
need?
What? This was the first year, and you're the first person I'm saying it to. Is my son just celebrated his 12th birthday.
I know,
and
can't believe it.
I didn't. Because of where his birthday falls every year, it's right before Thanksgiving. It's right before the holidays. So I'm generally like, oh shit, like next
all of
week
a sudden,
is my son's birthday. Yeah, and it's on a Monday or something. You know what I mean? And so his tradition is to get any cake he wants, no matter where it is, what kind it is, whatever. That's like his thing. So we did that, and awesome. He was fine. And like, he didn't want a present. He didn't ask me for a present.
Yeah,
I would have gotten him anything he asked me for.
Actually, you know what's really interesting?
And it was fine.
Well, obviously.
Well, one thing he did say was when so he got an ice cream cake again, and it was in the freezer, and he said, and I got home from work that night, and he's like, I'm like, hey, are you hungry? What do you want? It's your birthday. You can have anything you want. And he's like, well, I just really want my cake, but I know you're probably not going to let me. And I'm like, no, you can have your freaking cake for dinner. If that's what you want. I don't give a shit. Yeah. So he's like, all right, well, can we just hurry up and do the whole singing thing? Because I know I have to. And if that's how I get my cakes, then let's just like get it over with. Jeez. I'm like, do you not like the singing thing? He goes, well, I know it's necessary.
What is that?
Like, well, he's 12.
Oh, I forgot. He's 12. Nothing's cool.
But the funny thing is that we did it, and he smiled through the whole thing.
Honestly, if you hadn't done it, he would have been devastated.
I know.
Devastated.
And he's like, kids at that age are kind of passive aggressive.
Beyond. It's literally what they are.
They say something like, I hate it, but really they love it. Like me. You know, he acts like he hates me, but he loves me.
You know what's hilarious is that when Tyler was 12, we had this tradition where we would take, when a child turned 6 or 7, we take him to Disneyland. And we took Tyler first when he was little. When he turned 6, we took him. It was great. And then Natalie, we just went down the line. And then Mackenzie was turning 6, and we were going to take her. But we also said, but you know, you guys should come too. It'll be fun. It doesn't have to be just her. We could all go. It'll be great. Oh. And Tyler's like, no, I'm not going. I have no interest in going. We're like, okay, you don't have to go. Planned the whole trip to take Kenzie. No one else, you know, because he was very serious. I mean, and we asked him many, many times.
I know that. I know the no. I've heard it.
Yes. So
I just want to stink in my room and do nothing.
3 days before we're set to leave, I get a phone call from our mother.
Oh, God.
And she calls me and I go, hi. She goes, hey, Tyler called me. And I'm like, what? Why?
Which is weird.
He said you're taking Mackenzie to Disneyland and he's not going.
Oh my God.
And I said, that's right. He didn't want to go. And so he's going to be with his dad, you know, for a couple of days or whatever. And she's like, Jamie, he's devastated. He's crying. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, he called me and told me you weren't taking him. And he really is sad about it. I'm like, okay, I have to go. So I hung up and I went to his room. I go, Tyler, first of all.
Really? Marva, you pulled up the big guns?
I mean, seriously? Went above management.
Thank you.
Like, went to the top. Went to the owner of the company.
It's like Boss Baby.
Like,
really?
Seriously. I walk in, I go, Tyler, I'm really struggling not to be angry with you because I just had to hang up with my mother. And you're like the king of the family. So when the king calls, God. You know.
Oh, yeah. The C's part.
She said,
you heard my grandson?
She goes, Jamie, I will give you money. You can take him if you can't afford it.
That's what it is.
And I'm like, I don't need your money.
You don't know how big that is, people.
Oh,
Mother doesn't give money.
She goes, I will write you a check.
She would too.
So I'm like, not necessary. So I'm like, so you want to go to Disneyland? He's like, I don't know. And I'm like,
oh my God, just don't be an asshole about it. Just say it.
I go, you just called
Grandma,
my mother, your grandmother, the matriarch, and told her that you were devastated.
And you were crying. You were crying
on her? Do you know what that's like to cry on your grandmother?
Oh my God.
Like, do you have any idea that wars can begin when you do things like this? I go, you're going to Disneyland. He's like, fine. He was an asshole the whole time.
Damn it.
But you know what? He didn't not want to be there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
I made that little fool take a picture with Winnie the Pooh. I said, you're going to take a picture with Winnie the Pooh.
Well, now that he's older, he's probably really glad he went on that trip.
He was just like, oh, I was such a dick about it. And I go, you know what? You can't help it. It's hormones. It really is hormones.
So true.
They just don't know what they think.
They're
so confused. You just got to get through it. And then suddenly 3 years later, they're just like, Mom, I'm looking at colleges. You're like, no.
Oh my God. My son is so freaking whatever. Like I said, son, I have not seen a progress report or nothing. Like, what's the deal?
It's all online now.
No, I know. But he's like, well, I think the worst I did was I got a C in, I can't remember what it was.
Probably some language.
No, probably math. Because that's just not his thing. He goes, well, actually, I think I got a D. I'm like, oh. I'm like, are you sure you didn't actually get an F? I'm like, because we keep downgrading the grade. He's like, no, I didn't for sure.
For every breath. That's funny.
And so,
and you know, those progress reports come out the day that they go on break.
I know.
So you'll get it and be like, really, Jeff? Really?
Well, I pretty much, and then he goes, Mom, he goes, well, I don't know why you're making such a big deal out of this. He goes, grades don't even matter until you're in high school. And everyone knows that.
That's like, not true.
No.
They put you in the dumb group if you do badly in middle school.
Thank you.
You're going to be sorry.
Well, this is the child who wants to gets an aeronautical engineering degree.
Okay.
And be an astronaut. Still.
Well, you better get better at math.
At 12. Yeah. So I've told him that. So now he said that he's okay if he's not an actual astronaut. He's still going to try to be one.
Oh, he's lowering the bar a bit.
But that if he would settle for being the guy who operates the satellites and takes the photos in space.
You realize those are still astronauts.
I assumed, and I think I told him that. I said, honey, I don't think they let people like play with the satellites.
They're all astronauts.
If you're not,
some get to go, some don't.
Right.
That's just the way it is.
So
that's hilarious.
He's so naive and cute.
Speaking of men, this did not get a ton of traction, but people released their Sexiest Man Alive issue.
Oh, okay.
About a week ago.
All right. The only thing I've been watching on People is all the articles they've done on Sister Wives.
Yeah,
which I liked, but yeah,
I
think we're beyond that.
Well,
they're done with the Sister Wives. Now they're moving into Okay. Well, I like that. I kind of like that episode.
The issue.
Yeah.
Yes. So, number one, Sexiest Man Alive, Patrick Dempsey.
No,
thank you. Now I know. You and I do not have the same taste in men.
It's don't.
Totally fine. I fully expected Pedro Pascal to get Sexiest Man Alive.
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, you do. You'll see him and you'll know. Everybody calls him He's Daddy. He's so sexy. Now listen, he's Hispanic. I would never want to marry him.
You always say that,
but he's hot. He's really good looking, and everybody's outraged that he didn't get Sexiest Man Alive. Patrick Dempsey is like 57. Like he's old.
I don't care. Ooh, yeah, he's hot.
He's cute.
Jose Pedro Balmaceda Pascal.
Yes, he's a very good-looking man. Chilean sea bass.
He's cute.
Best in the business. Okay, so
definitely sexy. Definitely hot.
So these are the runner-ups to Patrick.
Okay.
Timothy Chalamet, who's 27. He's in Dune. He's
dating somebody famous right now. Kendall Jenner or Kylie Jenner.
He's dating a Kardashian. Yeah.
Yeah, Kylie. She's not a Kardashian, but yeah.
Okay. Pedro Pascal. He's 48.
Oh, he's a child. Timothy Chalamet. I'm looking at him like, no.
He's 27.
He's ugly and he's very thin.
Jamie Foxx. Usher.
No, Mr. Chlamydia.
Lenny Kravitz.
God.
And Jason Kelce.
No. Oh, everyone's up big on Jason Kelce right now because he's like a family man. And
Stephanie, he looks like an overweight lumberjack.
I was just going to say he's like Grizzly Adams in the modern world.
Like, I know that he's really successful and he's all the things.
He is handsome.
His wife is stunning.
They're great.
Beautiful
he
family.
Looks nice, but yeah.
The Kelce's.
He's not my type.
The Kelce's are what the Gronkowski family was a few years ago.
I love Gronk.
I do too. And I love that he's doing commentating now.
I do too.
So good.
You know what I love about Gronk is he's just so normal. Like,
yeah, well,
and he's not. I know he's not
he's got
dumb.
Like 100 brothers.
Oh, does he?
Yes. There's like 7 of them, and this poor woman that birthed all these giant children.
Oh my God,
can you imagine?
No,
he's got literally. He's got like four or 5 brothers.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot of them. Maybe there's 3. I don't know.
I just like Gronk because I know he's not dumb, but he kind of has that dumb, you know what I mean?
He ain't dumb.
I know he's not dumb.
Right.
No, I don't know what it is. I think it's what makes him normal to me.
Well, I mean, and the Kelce's fine. You know, listen, they're fine. I mean, I want Travis and Taylor to have a million children and live their best lives, do whatever. Yeah. Honestly, best transitional man on the planet.
Agreed. And he's like, I'm not hating my life.
I'm like, I am loving this journey for Taylor.
I mean, I'm loving it for her too. And it's not the worst thing for him either with his witch of an ex-wife, girlfriend, whatever she is.
And you know, why does she have to come out and say boo?
And she won't shut up.
Please
like
stop.
She did it the one time where everyone's like, okay, whoop, you shouldn't have done that. It was a bad look for you. But now she's continued to come out and say.
Because they wanted her input. They're like, what do you think about the whole Taylor thing now that you guys just broke up or whatever? She's like, I just hope Taylor doesn't mind that he cheats. And I'm like, Fair point.
Well, he cheated on you, but yeah.
Well, they were together for like 6 years. That's a long time.
No, I agree.
To not get married, by the way. But anyway, with that being said, I am so disappointed in, other than Pedro Pascal. I'm like, first of all,
he should have won.
He should have won.
No, Patrick Dempsey. Patrick Dempsey's won this before, has he not?
I'm sure of it. Now he's just got white hair now instead of brown hair.
Yeah.
Is he ugly? No, he's not ugly. And I also understand that the Sexiest Man Alive thing is when people are promoting a project or they're trying to work on their PR or whatever. I don't know why Travis Kelce didn't get it, but I mean, whatevs. He's way cuter than his brother.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. It doesn't matter to me. At least he's in his 30s. The rest of these people are old.
Well, Timothy Chalamet's not.
Well, the one 27-year-old.
Yeah.
What about Shawn Mendes is fucking hot as hell.
Yes, he is.
What about Harry Styles? What about, there's got to be other movie stars.
Poor Harry Styles.
What about Ryan Gosling? He was just Ken.
I'm telling you.
The guy that played Ken, the Asian guy, he was in Shang Yu.
I know who you're talking about.
That guy is hot.
Yeah.
Like, where are those guys? Why are we getting all these old... Jamie Foxx had a goddamn stroke, and he's a sexiest man alive.
Did he have a stroke? Because that was it?
No one really knows.
No one's saying.
No one's saying what it was, but it could have been anything.
Yeah.
I did hear stroke.
Could have been.
I heard stroke because some of the facial things that went on early on in the beginning when he was trying to be acting like, I'm not in the hospital.
Like, I'm fine.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Usher? Really? Usher?
No, Usher.
What is this, 1992?
I mean,
what are we doing?
Well, Usher is making a comeback. I don't know why, but he's
Is he going to be a judge on some show?
Probably. He already was.
Like, what about a Joe Bro? Like, they're young. I'm so confused. I'm like,
well, maybe it's one of those titles.
Is it the readership or is it 60 plus?
It could be, or maybe it's one of those titles that's for sale. And
absolutely.
Yeah. And so this is just the direction that People Magazine went in this year. And
it's just unfortunate because this would be a really good time because People has been... They're trying to do a couple things. They're
like JCPenney. They're trying to stay relevant in a world that's evolving faster than they know what to do.
I would agree with you on that. It would just be nice if they kind of went, we know that the people that buy the physical magazine are older. I assume the same people who probably have landlines.
Yeah.
When they take polls and stuff, they call landlines to get
I will
information.
have you know, though, that if you are trying to call your friend and she's at home and you're on your cell and her cell is bad, we're so happy that she had a landline.
Oh,
I'm like, you have a landline? She's like, yes, call my home phone. I'm like, oh my God.
What?
A home phone?
This is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we got on the home phone, clear as a bell.
Well, of course.
No
we
issues.
actually, what's funny is we actually have a landline. I have no
idea.
idea. Yeah, I have no idea what the phone number is.
Do you have a phone?
Like a phone to pick up and touch?
Yeah.
No.
Well, then why do you... Oh my God.
We got it for free. We just got it because we got Comcast and they're like,
I'd have to use it if I had it.
And we have a phone number and everything. And I'm like, I don't even know what the phone number is. I don't even know where the plug to plug a phone in is. I have no idea.
I know where
There's
it is in my house.
Phone jacks.
My house is ancient, so we have them.
No phone jacks, no nothing. I'm like, are we paying for that phone number? He's like, no. I go, what's the number? He goes, I don't know. I'm like, okay, good. So we're all on the same page. No one knows.
As long as you're not paying for it, okay, fine.
No, it's free.
Okay.
We just got it because we're like, congratulations, you're still using cable.
Oh, good God.
So we're like, okay.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Daryl swears we're cutting the
I know,
cable,
you keep saying this.
but he won't do it. And I'm like, well, I mean,
scary.
Honestly, I have already mentally divorced myself from cable, so I no longer care about it. It's just like boyfriends.
Once you do it,
I'm just done. And I'm just like, when I'm done, I'm done. So, whenever you decide to be done, I think you're the one that's got the emotional attachment to cable because it ain't me. Because like now I just don't even care.
I'm like
anymore.
over it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm over it. And so I'm like, well, you keep saying you're going to do it, but you don't do it.
Unless he, and I know he's got it all, Matrix all figured out and everything, but the worst part of it for us was the local channel part of it.
Yeah, and I asked him about that.
But if he has that figured out and he knows how to get it and then it's fine, then great.
He does.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, I know that, for example, right now he's not here because he's buying a television. And that is what's
for the living room?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's what's going to motivate him to cut the cord.
Do it.
He's going to tell me all the new tech that's involved in the TV, and I'm going to gloss over and go, just tell me what button to push.
Yeah.
So I can get to The Crown when it comes out this week.
Oh my God.
Sorry. Well, it came out already as of this show, but
shut up.
Yeah, it comes out on
I'm so excited.
15th, November 15th.
You know what? The time is flying. I can't even keep track of the day anymore. I'm like, wait, it's out already? Okay,
yes, it just came out.
Well, I'm so excited. And I told you like 2 weeks ago that I finally was like, because I had been seeing the trailers and I'm like, shit, you know what? They're about, and this is it.
Oh, you had to binge
I had
watch.
to binge 2 seasons.
Oh my God.
2 seasons.
And they're hard because they're all an hour.
They're all an hour and they're very deep and you really have to pay attention so you don't miss anything important for the most part. They're very dramatic, so they require your emotional attention. But I had a busy... I
have to be in the mood for it, man.
Well, here's the thing. I kind of did what I did when I binged all 8 seasons of Dexter. I got into a mode. I had work that I needed to do that didn't require me to interact with anybody.
So you can just listen and...
So I literally set up a little TV with my phone at my desk and I pounded out a shit ton of work, by the way.
That's good. Oh, and you did both.
I did
picture in picture.
Yes. So I watched it. And then if I was like, maybe there was 10 or 12 minutes left of an episode and it was time for me to go home, I would put it in my freaking car.
There you go.
I mean,
well, it was funny because
stop. I was just like, I have to know what happened.
You're like 2 weeks ago, you're like, oh my God, I just finished The Crown.
I can't.
And I was like, good for you. That's hard to do. It was
so satisfying.
It is satisfying.
I was like, I thought I was going to be bored or regretting it. I'm like, nope.
I was with you. I had put it off for quite some time. The last season I put off for quite some time. I had started and went, you know what? I just can't do this. I don't really want to do this.
Sometimes you really do have to be in the right place.
But I will say, I always forget that The Crown is not about Princess Diana and Charles. It's about Princess or Queen Elizabeth.
It is.
So the perspective is very different. So I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Because I love her. I love the vibe of it.
Well, what do you think of the most recent? So in the last season, they changed the actress that was playing her for 2 seasons, which she was fantastic, by the way.
Olivia something.
Yeah. And now it's this short little, this older woman.
Yeah, she played the bad guy in Harry Potter.
Oh, okay.
And so
they went from her being kind of old to like ancient.
Yeah.
And so.
Hello?
Yeah.
Who is it?
It's Daryl. Who else?
Hi, what's up? Oh, you haven't left yet? No. Oh, okay.
They're not, sorry. Go ahead.
What?
Saying it's done, but there's no way it's not done. So.
Okay. Bye. Anyway, no, I didn't mind the cast change. I mean,
it's necessary.
Well, yeah, because she does get white hair.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was just kind of like, wow, we went from 50 to
so
60 or 70.
But the thing is that I had a hard time with the cast change because all I could see was the bad guy from Harry Potter. It took a really long, and I was not the only one.
For who? Which character?
The Queen.
Oh, that guy.
That actress who plays the Queen in The Crown in these last 2 seasons was the villain in Harry Potter.
Well, there was more than one bad guy.
She was one of the really bad ones.
All right.
And so for me and for a lot of people are like, oh God, how do we remove that?
Well, I mean, same thing about Helen Bonham. She was also in Harry
Princess
Potter.
Margaret. Yes.
Yeah, but she was brilliant in The Crown.
Well, she looked completely different.
Not to me.
No, I meant from the character she played in Harry Potter.
I didn't think so.
Really?
I immediately was like, oh yeah, that's what's her name from. Yeah.
By the end,
but she was so good at the role that I was going to say, could let it go.
By the end of her time as Princess Margaret, she looked like Princess Margaret.
And I think they could have even kept her even as the older Princess Margaret.
They could have, but it seemed like that they were kind of doing that for everybody.
Yeah, I agree.
So
yeah, even the daughter. Anne.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
I liked the episode where they were where Philip was like, you have a favorite, and she's like, no, I don't. I don't say that. He's like, yes, you do. She's like, who? And he's like, I'm not gonna say.
She knows who. We all know who it is.
Yeah, and I find it interesting though. I don't know how true The Crown is. I know a lot of it is. Enhanced. I don't know.
Harry said it's pretty accurate.
Yeah. So, I mean, if Andrew was in fact her favorite.
Oh, yeah.
How sad for her to see how that all ended.
Well, I just think that Andrew was spoiled and indulged. And this is kind of what happened.
It was just the extreme of that. Yeah.
And his personality on top of the fact that he literally was not held accountable for anything.
Yeah, agreed.
You push the boundaries and this is what happens.
And you have so much money that nothing is.
And you're protected.
Yeah.
And he's fully protected.
For sure. So,
disgusting.
But how sad.
Yeah. It is sad for her.
For her.
It would be devastating.
For her. Not for him,
no,
for her.
It's devastating. Anyway, so speaking of bullies, I don't know, because we were talking about, she's not really bullying anybody, but, they keep asking Travis Kelce's ex-girlfriend for quotes and shit.
Yeah,
and then she keeps talking.
I would refuse.
I would stop
I would
talking.
just I have nothing to say about this.
I'm like, it was a fine relationship. We're moving on.
Travis Barker's ex. That's
Shanna
what you
Moakler,
should do.
Shauna, and you know what? She even has more of a right to speak because they have children.
They do.
And she still has nothing bad to say about anything.
Because she's smart and she has some PR person in her life that's like, you can't win in this situation.
No, and not only that, but
say that you're happy for them and you want nothing for the best.
She has a full career in the pageant world, and if nothing, the pageant world teaches you poise.
Well,
and teaches you how to behave in public, and
she's had some unfortunate things that have happened in the public, and I feel bad for her.
I do too. First of all, you will not find me talking shit about Shauna Moakler. I like her a lot.
I like her a lot too. I just hate the fact that she's been a victim of domestic violence and a person that she continues to stay with.
I agree with that.
I don't like that. I don't even know. We don't know everything I know, but at the same time, I know he's been arrested, and I know she's had restraining orders against him, and that's enough.
Trying to work it out. Anyway, with that being said, another person that I literally cannot stand is now I don't know how much of a fan of Lady Gaga you are, but I'm a huge fan of Lady Gaga.
I am a huge fan of her as a musician.
Yes.
I don't know much about her personally. I mean, other than she's had issues like we all have.
She has
trauma.
She has lupus and shit. She's got autoimmune disease issues. Anyway,
I know she was born poor and she earned her own money and all that.
She worked very hard. She went to NYU as a student, and she was majoring in art and singing and all the things. And she has been very clear that she was bullied at NYU, that people really weren't real big fans of hers.
Well, if you look at her stripped down and not in her, not what she wears when she's performing. She's not traditionally a strikingly beautiful woman. I think she's beautiful.
But I know what you're saying.
But you know what I mean? She's kind of like Barbara Streisand, or, think of some of these other...
Well, and the other thing is that she really, and I know this isn't attractive to people when you're in your early 20s, but she really believed in herself.
Agreed.
And she really believed that she would be famous.
Well,
and that she would have a career
so
as a singer.
incredibly talented.
She's amazingly talented. So with all of that being said, there was a girl... specifically who did not like her much.
Yeah, who is this person? Because I saw her in the news the other day.
Well, this person decided because someone decided to put her on a podcast and kind of talk about her quote unquote side. And I'm like, I can tell you this, that if my bully ever tried to come out with their side. So this is what she said. She goes, I'm not saying that she wasn't talented, and she was. She's like, I just wanted to eat my sandwich in peace. And all she did was sing. And it was really annoying. And so after a while, I started lashing out at her, essentially. I'm paraphrasing. But that's essentially her excuses for bullying and saying that she wasn't going to be anything.
Oh,
and that
bullshit,
she was
you were jealous. Okay, but that's fine.
Jealous and a cunt.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Same.
This is not even high school. This is college. What are you doing?
Stop. And but is this person famous?
No.
I thought she was. I thought she was somebody because
Was she like a podcast?
I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't figure out why anyone would care what she had to say.
Literally don't even know her name. Something Carly, Carol?
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever.
So I was like, well, maybe she's on some fucking sitcom I don't know about that I don't watch.
Just somebody who was so jealous that she bullied someone and is so jealous that now she's going to be a fucking fame whore and say, I'm Lady Gaga's bully that she talks about.
Oh my God.
Couldn't respect you less.
Right.
Literally couldn't respect you less.
What sucks is that they're even giving her a platform.
Well, that's what pisses me off. I'm like, you know what? Honestly, Stephanie, I can tell you this. You and I'd be like, let's get her on our show and we'll interview her and I will take her down 100 notches.
Oh my God, that'd be so fun.
I would absolutely fry her.
Yeah,
I'm like, so how does it feel to be a bully when you're an adult? Curious.
Yeah, you were in elementary school or even high school for that matter.
Were you still in the throes of puberty? What was wrong? Did you have small tits?
Yeah.
What was it? Were you not loved enough by your father? Like, why are you bullying this woman? Woman. Grown ass women.
Right. Thank you.
What is wrong with you and your fucking sandwich? I'll give you a sandwich. I'll give you a knuckle sandwich.
I was just going to say that literally. I was like, do we go there?
No, she'd be like, what? This is not what my person told me. I'm like, what, your sister? I talked to your sister. She hates you too. No one likes you. You're dumb and ugly. Get out of here. Just get the hell out.
Well, I hope she's proud of herself because she's gotten her 20 minutes of fame. And everyone will hate her.
And then we're going to have to see her stupid TikToks that are come up in our algorithm. It'll be like, Hi, bestie.
You know what I've noticed though is you just have to scroll really quick.
I try to scroll so fast.
Like the second you see something that you're like, no. Psh.
I try so hard.
Because if you even watch it for more than like 3 or 5 seconds,
it's over. This morning, okay, you and I were chatting with each other and we were both looking at TikTok for way too long. And I'm like, I'm still in bed. You're like, I just got out
on Sunday morning.
God. And so I'm laying there and I'm like, tell me how and why. And I don't even know what my algorithm is going to look like when I go back to it. I watched a 9-part TikTok about a family from the Appalachian Mountains.
Doing what?
They are proud hillbillies.
Okay.
This was filmed in the late 80s.
Oh.
So it's very old.
So they're doing like
and they're
back when we didn't have TikTok, this is what we filmed.
Obviously, this was an HBO documentary.
Wow.
And somebody had posted it on TikTok in minute increments. Yeah. So I'm watching it.
I love people who do that.
And this person, this is his wedding day. And he's laying on his bed with
fur boots,
shirtless.
Oh,
and he's laying on his bed that has just a top sheet, and he's like, "Well, you're ready to go. I got the courthouse, and whatever." And apparently, he was going to marry his girlfriend who had just turned 18, which maybe was old for them. I don't know, but she said, "Yeah, I'm not going to marry you." Oh, and he's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "What do you mean? We're literally meeting in an hour." And he's like, I'm just watching him like your mom is in shorts and a t-shirt, your dad's in a t-shirt, and you're laying on your bed and this is an hour before the wedding.
Oh God.
So she hangs up and it's on a landline.
Shocking.
Beige.
In the 80s.
Yes. So he hangs up the phone because he has to actively, physically hang up a phone. So he gets to kick the phone, which probably feels very satisfying because you can't do that anymore.
It makes like ching.
Yes, it did ching.
Because it had a bell inside of it.
Yes. And so
people are probably like, what?
He's furious. And his mom, honestly, there was a scene. So he goes out and he's punching the chicken coop. And his mom comes out and he's angry. And then he just starts to cry. And his mom is hugging him. And he goes, well, I'm not going to stick around here. I'm leaving. And then this woman who probably was only in her 50s but looks way older, she's just like, they all say they're going to leave and they all come back.
Oh, my God.
Hell, Uncle Jep, he came back twice. And I'm like, okay, all right. Why am I watching this?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out myself.
Go into
9 parts.
Go into the comments. And a woman in there goes, that was my friend who canceled.
Oh.
I know her. And she dodged a bullet, obviously. Married a Marine, and they have 3 lovely children.
Aww.
And they've been married ever since.
Oh, good.
But she got married at a normal age, in her 20s or whatever.
Oh, my God.
Normal age.
I can't even imagine. That reminds me of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
The roll credits at the end. The couple that they highlighted divorced. She is still single, and her husband's in prison for murder. Oh. So I'm like, satisfying ending,
right?
Well,
I knew it. That's just what I would expect.
I would expect nothing less. But anyway,
wow.
God forbid what my algorithm is going to look like when I come back to it. Somebody, I have no idea.
God,
I have no idea.
I've been watching worst DUI arrests by like Karens that get arrested drunk. Oh my God. Good. Yeah, I watched one and that one was 3 parts. Oh, and now I'm like, oh my God, that's all I'm getting. I'm like, why can't I stop watching this though? Like I want to see the next one.
Oh, Stephanie, I
love seeing Karens get arrested.
It's very satisfying.
It's just
especially because those types of entitled people get away with so much in life.
They do.
So it's so nice when they finally get their
it's like the one thing you really can't get away with is driving drunk.
You simply cannot.
And the police, you
cannot.
I mean, I have such respect for them because working with the public like I do, it's a skill that you have to learn when people are cussing you out and cursing at you and yelling at you.
You have to maintain.
You really do. And truly, once you learn it and you know how to do it really doesn't, it's not hard to do. Right. It doesn't really get to you anymore. No. Although we're all human and every once in a while it will.
Somebody will push a button, you'll go,
yeah.
What did you say?
Someone who's just a little smarter than they should be will eventually get you.
Yeah.
But for the most part, So when I watch these police officers, I'm thinking like, there's nothing you can call me a motherfucker and say all these things to me.
It's not going to change.
You're anything. A piece of shit and all the stuff they do. While I'm putting you in my car and taking you to the most filthy place that you've ever seen in your life. and leaving you there.
And it's chilly.
And then I get to go.
It's really cold.
Yeah, it's freezing and it's gross.
It's like, I'm on my way to a Starbucks date. Bye!
Shit and piss everywhere and crazy people and have fun, Karen. Yeah, so that's fun.
It humbles it can humble everybody. Anyone. It should humble you anyway. And the ones that don't are they're terrifying if it doesn't scare you.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll see. So the other night, I don't know why this happens. It's kind of like an algorithm. I ended up on a mortuary subreddit.
Oh God.
And it's basically people who prepare loved ones for funerals or burial or whatever. And tell me how I ended up there. I do not know.
I don't know. There's a guy I follow on TikTok that does this.
Oh, I follow so many.
And he answers questions.
Oh, he's good.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about?
You know what? He's in Sacramento.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, he is. He's funny because he's obviously been doing it for a really long time.
Very long time.
No matter how abhorrent the question is, he answers
it.
Does your skin fall off after you've been in the river for a long time? Yes, it does.
That guy. Yes. There's actually a funeral home guy from Sacramento, but I do follow that guy. Well,
guy, the guy that I'm talking about is
he's got a beard.
Yes. I'm sorry. Is he? I don't know if he's he's not a doctor. He prepares your body. Yeah.
He's a mortuary. I don't know what they call them.
Mortician.
Yes. He's a mortician. Fascinating.
He's funny. Yeah. I mean,
and they're very funny, but he
answers anything.
He answers anything. But you know what? People will need to know. People want to know.
We want to know.
Stephanie, I mean,
why do we want to know? But we do.
Because everybody dies.
Everybody dies, and it's like
everybody has to eventually deal with a mortician.
Yeah, and the truth is like we're not only are we fascinated by death and what it does to your physical body when you die, we also want to know about these people who handle you. Like, what kind of person does this?
So the people, like in the Reddit I was reading about, what had happened was I follow a lot of makeup Reddits.
Yeah.
And someone posted a question. They're like, I'm a cosmetologist. I was thinking it would be kind of nice to get into post-living cosmetology.
It's very lucrative, by the way.
And they all told her the same thing. They said, we don't have that. Everybody who is a mortician gets a lesson in makeup.
Oh.
But because of the kind of work we do, it's not makeup. It's different. You're not dealing with living skin anymore.
True.
And you're dealing with not real
decaying
not
flesh.
only that, but the kind of makeup you're using is not the kind you buy at the store.
You wouldn't put oil-based paint on a human face.
Well, you actually are using. It's not.
That's what I'm saying. On a live person.
Yes.
You wouldn't put. You wouldn't use turpentine. And
it's just very. And it's like like they were. And then of course I just went down this rabbit hole about how like when someone who's older passes away and their lips turn black, they have to rebuild their lips so they aren't for viewing and stuff. And I'm like, the things that they're like, how do you get the back from da da? They're like, oh, you have to go through the pelvis. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
wow,
cannot. Yeah, that's this dude. I'm telling you, like he's asked, like, what do you do with someone who got shot with a shotgun? He's like, well, this happens more often than you think. And he like answers. I'm like, oh,
they use a lot of putty.
It's horrible. Yeah,
it's crazy. I admire it greatly. I always thought I could do it, and then I read something about the embalming process, and I'm like,
fuck no, I couldn't.
I don't know if I could. I mean, I think you just have to look at it differently.
I've already said, like, because when I go to all these rich people's houses from my husband's work, and I'm like, God, they really live the life. He's a doctor, and they have all this money, and they have these beautiful things. I'm like, but then when you actually think about what they do. Talking about it in general terms is one
like
thing.
Doctors?
Yes.
Yeah.
But put yourself in the actual position of it. It's your hand that's slicing open somebody and that you have to touch like a vein or I don't care if you have a glove on, whatever.
Yeah.
It's just literally think about doing that and that is your work.
It's just science. I mean, you have to have a different perspective on things.
You really do.
It's a very
And the amount of calmness that it requires and focus, I don't have it. I do not possess it.
I don't know if I do either.
I don't possess it.
Fair.
You do way more than me. Yeah, because you always kind of had that very logical, like you look at
it doesn't
things through
bother
a different
me.
lens. Yeah, I don't have it. I just know I don't.
I don't like causing pain though. I don't like to that part would be hard.
Well, and a lot of doctors are like, yeah, you know what, the pain part of it sucks, but it's like, you know, to heal them or to give them a better life, sometimes you have to go through, you know, that. So for them, it's always like the goal is to get, you know, that's part of the process. But at the end, if they're alive because I did what I did, you know, but I just don't, my brain does not work that way.
Okay. Conspiracy theory. And then we'll do awkward and ugly and awkward moment. I have this weird conspiracy theory that I came up with. I didn't come up with it. I had an epiphany, and I've always I believe that I've believed this for a while.
Okay,
I'm not crazy. I promise.
She's looking at me like these huge eyes,
crazy eyes.
She's like, I'm not crazy.
But it just reminded me. I fully believe with almost every fiber, not every fiber, because I'm never 100% sure on anything in life other than I know I'm alive.
Right.
I fully believe that we have that there is a cure for cancer, and they're not giving it to us.
You think it's a secret?
Yes.
Well, I've heard this from other people, but
I believe that we have a cure for cancer.
I think the cure,
and that they do not do it because they make far more money.
But they would make so much money on the cure.
I don't think that. I think that are people who have been treated with this, and that they will live cancer-free forever because of it.
Maybe, but for me, okay, maybe this is because well, you know, you're right. Everything's about money, but
I think there are people so rich that we don't even know who they are.
That's
and
true.
That they have access to this kind of stuff.
Could be, but there's also those, if you've met people who work in labs or medical people or whatever, the commitment to science, they're not, the people who are making the cures aren't necessarily the doctors who are administering
No, they're not.
They're not.
They have nothing to do with it.
So their brains are like, you know, it's like the ultimate discovery, the ultimate like piecing things together and figuring out how they work and what, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So I think that part is real. But if you're saying that big pharma doesn't buy it and do it.
Well, I think the cure exists, and I think that it is being actively kept away from humans.
Oh, okay.
That's my conspiracy theory. Do you have a conspiracy theory? Like a good one?
I am so, conspiracy theories are one of those things that I
don't believe in any other conspiracy theories.
When people tell me things, I literally, like, in my brain, I'm rolling my eyes. Like,
oh God,
Stephanie, so fucking stupid.
I know someone who fully believes that chemtrails are accurate. They fully believe chemtrails are real.
What's a chemtrail?
When you see lines in the sky.
What's that? Well, yeah, but what do they think it is?
It's from vapor.
And what do they think it is?
They think it's poison from the government.
For Christ's sakes.
Yeah,
okay.
that they're seeding our skies.
No. And see, this is the issue I have with aliens. With aliens, I cannot have a conversation with literally anybody. Nobody.
You don't think aliens are real?
I don't.
Here's what I think.
I don't think, let me clarify. Okay. I don't think aliens are real. I do believe that life beyond our planet is possible.
Yes, I agree with that.
But I do not believe in aliens. And I'm not convinced.
Like aliens that have like eyes and hello.
I don't care if they look like humans and they were living, you know, a million miles away. I don't believe in it. I feel like if they were out there, if they existed and they had this higher intelligence and all of the things that people have said, they would have found us by now.
And it wouldn't be like,
no.
Well, here's what I think. I think that, okay, so there was some kind of congressional hearing.
Right now there are people on the other side of the aliens are real. You're stupid.
It was
God, I have been told this so many times.
A few months ago, there was a congressional hearing where they were talking about Area 54.
My grandfather was in the war and he told me he saw it and it was real.
I've heard it. So they interview these government officials who work at Area 54, whatever it's called. 52? 50? 54?
50 something.
Okay, whatever.
Area 54?
I thought that's what it
was.
Something.
We know.
You know what I'm talking about.
We all know, yeah.
Where everyone thinks there are aliens. Where the captured bodies of aliens. Okay.
My husband's father
fully believes that there are aliens.
Said he saw things. He was a pilot for 30 years in the Air Force.
I believe that pilots have seen unusual things. I just don't.
Me too.
I don't deny that at all. Anyway, but he said, yes, there are things from outer space. They call it alien or UFO because it's unidentified.
Yeah.
They call it alien because it's not from Earth.
Well, alien doesn't necessarily mean alien like a green guy with Googles. If you think of the term alien, it means a lot of things. So it's foreign. Yeah.
So the lady's like, so what you're saying is that there are aliens. And he goes, technically, yes, but it's not. I think it's like material or a dead
matter
or some kind of dead enzyme-y thing that once had some kind of life.
It's so hard to know.
I don't believe that they're green human-like creatures that are wandering around the planet.
It looks like E.T.
No.
And
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I do believe that they're like you. I believe there is some kind of version of what we would consider life out there. I just don't think it's more superior to us. I don't necessarily.
I don't know. I don't think it's Homo sapien like. I don't think it's human like.
Right. I definitely think that there is life. It's just, and they call it alien because it is. It's alien to Earth.
Yeah.
But like,
which we can also say foreign or, you know, just something that's not of.
I certainly believe that Air Force pilots see some crazy shit up there.
I think they do.
I just don't know what it is.
Well, because they spend more time in that than in the average person, right?
We don't know anything about space.
We don't know anything. And that's one of the things that bums me out about the fact that, you know, our lives will end.
It could be satellite junk.
Yeah, 80, 90 years, 100 years if you're lucky on this earth is such a short period of time.
I was just
like, I wish I could see what was going to happen 1,000 years from now.
I just told Daryl that.
Really?
I said, we
would think we're like, that's what you got. You guys used to send rockets to the moon?
Oh
my God.
Stephanie, I just said this not that long ago. I said, I got a little depressed today. And Daryl's like, why? And I said, because I'm not going to be able to see what happens in like 300 years. And it really bums me out.
It does bum me out.
Like, I want to know. I want to know what's going to happen. And you know what's sad is our kids won't even see it. And that really bums me out.
No.
Like some random relative that will go, oh, look at that weird lady from the 2000s.
Yeah.
Like, it'll be like...
Well, exactly. Yeah. So
and we won't be around, and it's such a drag.
Well, it's a drag. So, and the reason why, like, I was using analogy of watching, we were talking about watching The Crown and how watching Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, watching the men walking on the moon. Yeah. And how that was just so, for him, like, and it was a crazy, powerful time in history.
It was crazy.
You know, people just couldn't fathom that we could ever go to the moon.
I know.
You know what I mean?
And now it's like, the moon.
Well, that was in the 60s. You know, that was forever ago. Now we have people living on the space station up there.
And now they're talking about farming the moon. Literally building space stations.
So so you know all of that is inevitable with mankind the way they are.
I want to go to the moon. I want to see I want to know what moon sand looks like.
I don't want to go right now because I feel like it's too risky. Like the chances of you dying are pretty good.
Oh, I'd go.
But would you?
Hell yeah.
I would do it like the lady.
How long does it take to get to the moon from Earth? Do we know? Is it like an hour?
No, it's longer than that, but it's not long. It's not a day.
Can you do it in a day trip?
They go so fast. I mean, they're going so fast.
Actually, the scariest part would be coming back in to the atmosphere.
That is the most dangerous
because of the fire.
Yeah.
That would scare me.
You have to break through the atmosphere.
I would just be like, let this be like Armageddon where I just won't even know what happens.
And essentially you would be incinerated.
Yeah.
Although there was that one space shuttle that they said that like they actually burned and they knew and it was bad. It was terrible.
The Sally Ride one?
I can't remember. They were coming back. So remember when they were coming back for re-entry? That's when they burned up.
Well, happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Yeah.
This has been exciting. No, we're going to end on a good note. We're going to do our ugly and awkward moments. Let's do our ugly and awkward moments. Go ahead.
So mine is so typical of me when I'm having a moment where I'm actually sounding prolific and profound and people are interested in what I have to say.
You'll be humbled.
So I'm sitting there telling this group of folks at work all the reasons why they were getting, some of them were rallying and basically like, yeah, well, they were starting to turn on each other. Not the people in the room, like I'm turning on you, like I'm looking at you, but generally speaking, they were like, well, if other workers would just do this, if other workers had a better work ethic. And I'm like, hold on. Look, I get what you're saying, and that it is really annoying when you have to work on something that somebody else has worked before you and they did a shit job or a half-ass job. Yes, it's fucking annoying because you think everybody should do it like you. And if we all just did it this one way, then we'd be in a better world, right? I'm like, but you have to look at it from a different perspective. You don't know. I'm like, put yourself in this, however long you've worked for this company, this county that we work for. You've been treated like shit. You have been mistreated at some point in your tenure, whether it's a year or 10 years, however long you've worked here. And who do you blame? You blame the entity, the department. There's no one human that you can pin it on and say, it's your fault that this place is run so shitty, right? Because it's the government and it's really hard to nail it down to one person. I said, so imagine, the worst day you ever had at work. where you were getting yelled at, or you got spit on by a client, or your boss was being a prick that day and asking you that stuff that was so ridiculous. And then you had to get and turn around and help a person and be friendly and customer servicey. And maybe you just didn't give your all in that particular case because you were pissed off, or you were fucking having a day. You got in a fight with your husband last night. You didn't sleep, whatever. I'm like, you have to give people grace. I'm like, so imagine that you were working on a case and I'm like, and everybody's quiet, listening in the room.
Yeah.
All eyes are on
You're
me.
pontificating.
Yeah.
You're monologuing.
30 people-ish, you know, and all of a sudden I'm like, and you just really have to pee. And you haven't been able to pee in like 15 minutes. And people like started laughing. They're like, wow. Like, I'm like, why did I say that? Why did I say, and I said it like that. Like I said, pee. Like, why didn't I say you haven't been able to take a break, or you haven't been able to go on your lunch?
Something a little more.
There were so many other things I could have said in that moment.
Because you probably had to pee.
I wanted to die.
You're like,
I was like,
and everybody's got your attention too. So you're like, well, I better wrap this up.
And I had to keep going because I had to own it. I'm like, and I'm like, and it might sound crude. Fine, it sounds crude. So then I was trying to spit it.
Double down.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
I felt like such an asshole. And then, then of course everybody wanted to talk about it after the speech was over and we were breaking up and going back to our, prospective work sites. It's like, yeah, you had to pee. And I'm like, shut up. So I'm like, you know what? I will self-sabotage every single time.
Oh, yeah.
Every single time.
This is why we were just talking, not just, but I was saying, whenever I feel motivated, I'm like, you know what? I could run for city council. I'm smart enough.
I mean, you could.
I'm smart enough.
I'm actually putting that on myself. Like, you think you can, and then you say
I say something
like,
imagine if you had to pee.
And you hadn't peed in 15 minutes.
Okay.
And you were like, I'm going pee if I have to go. I mean, yes, I went on and on.
And then it's like, okay, well, this is Leticia Ordaz with KCRA. Jamie Minor, running for city council.
Yes.
Teo. Embarrassing.
They're like, well, and then they come back and everyone's got a big smile on their face.
And they do that weird half cock thing to go, well, thanks, Leticia.
Well, that's the funny thing about news people is they all, at some point in their career, have had moments like that.
Of course.
And I can only imagine.
Like, well, the P counselor, the lady running for council, P.
Yeah,
and that will never, ever go away. It will forever be burned in your brain.
So, and for me, it's like, well, okay, yes, it was humiliating. Yes, I immediately regretted saying it. But this is the thing that people know about me.
Yeah.
They've come to know this about me.
They're like, oh, this is
she's so smart and articulate and she
has
all these great
ideas. She always says something funny.
But then she will say something to fucking look like an idiot. And we love that about her. So, because she just takes herself too damn seriously.
There you go.
Like, who does she think she is? She thinks she's all that in a bag of chips, and then she says something dumb.
Humbles yourself. I be like, don't worry, you do not need to humble me.
No.
I will humble myself.
Every time.
I'm very independent. So mine was not that humiliating, but every year, and it's only when it's super duper busy, whether it's at the grocery store or Trader Joe's or whatever. As you know, Daryl always uses it as an excuse to, if I'm like, okay, I have to go to the store. I'll be right back. Oh, I have a minute. I'll go with you.
Oh,
he just uses it as an excuse to get out of the house, whatever.
Well, he just wants to be with you all the time.
And he wants to be with me
because,
I mean, like I said, if he could be in my skin, he would.
Yeah.
Literally.
It reminds me of Pablo with Paula. She's like, if he could get inside my neck, he would.
If he could, he's like, I can't get close enough to you.
I know.
Exactly. And God forbid, if I give him even just a little, it's over.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
That's funny.
So I'm at the store. Now, I don't wait for him. And he's not very, he's not, like, he'll do the basket because he wants to do the basket.
We've had this discussion before.
Many times. And so I will go and gather items.
Like you leaving the purse in the basket. You can't do that anymore.
No, I don't do that anymore. Right. I don't even bring my purse in anymore. I learned that lesson.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to learn it. And so
you were like, okay, I have to take
it.
matters in my own hands.
Now I just have bare
preventative
minimum
care. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm going through and I'm gathering all of the things that I need. And because I'm so accustomed to him just being right behind me, I, of course, immediately turn around and start dumping things into this poor old lady's basket.
Oh, God.
She's got like 3 items. And
she's looking at you like...
Well, she was looking down because she's like, I'm not here with anyone. And I'm, talking under my breath. It's like, okay, and then I look and I'm like, hello. And she's like very old. And I was like, I am so sorry. You don't have to these aren't for you, you know? And it's just this whole awkward thing.
Oh, God.
And Daryl doesn't see anything because he's on his phone at this point because he's completely checked out.
Well, now you're like furious because like this is your fault. I'm humiliated.
Like, if you weren't going to help, why are you even here?
And you're on your phone, really?
And I would say, who are you talking to? What are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm sorry. It was just something.
Work.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, all right, fine. Anyway, yeah. So that was my awkward moment.
That
I
would
do
be
it once a year.
Oh my God. And you would think after all these years, you would like not do it.
I don't because
double check.
Never.
Like,
never.
let me just make sure this is my basket
just
before.
blindly start throwing things in people's baskets. I one time yelled at another woman's husband at the store.
You told us about this. I don't remember the exact circumstances, but I remember you telling me.
I just remember turning and going, I said something to him, and the man was like, he literally was dressed the same as Daryl, though. Literally looked same clothes, because, you know, all men wear the same clothes. He's like,
yeah, I don't even need to get yelled at by my own wife, because someone else's wife is yelling at me.
And I was like, I said something to him, like, annoyed. I'm like, God, where you been? Or something like that. And he goes, like, he had this surprised look on his face, and he was wearing glasses, so I knew it wasn't
He's like waiting
Daryl.
for you to recognize that it's not.
Oh my God. And then the wife's like, hello. I'm like, I thought this was my husband. I'm so sorry. She starts laughing. And then Daryl's like, you know, and I'm like,
you're like, where were you 5 minutes ago?
He's like, you wander everywhere. I'm like, we're not here to lollygag. We're here to get in and get out. Period. End of discussion. This is not a vacation.
Right?
We're out of here.
But for Daryl, it's like every moment that we're doing these types of things, we're just together, and why rush it? You know, I'm perfectly content. Why aren't you?
Because I hate going to the grocery store.
I know, right?
I hate it more than anything in the
Jamie,
world.
we are so on the same page.
And of course, and our sister
owns half my paycheck.
Our sister Allison, she's like, I just don't understand why you're still refusing to use Instacart. And I'm like, because I don't want other people touching my shit.
I'm telling you, but it is like doing cocaine. You know, once you do a little and that first sting goes away, then you're like, oh God, a little bit more.
So like I did the deliver. I think it was Instacart. I did Instacart when Daryl and I both had
I like
COVID.
Amazon's too, to be fair,
because they use fresh.
It's
Whole Foods.
Yes.
They do others.
No, they have their own. They have their warehouse is huge, but the thing I like about it is a lot of it is animatronic.
Oh, so they just get pulled.
So a little hand picks your stuff up and sticks it in a bag.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, not all of it.
Oh, fascinating.
They actually do have people who pick the produce because part of their incentive is to make sure that they have the freshest produce.
Okay.
So that when it goes in your shopping bag or whatever, they do have some discretion.
Yeah, I did Instacart when Daryl and I both had COVID for the first time. I'm like, okay, well, we have no choice. We were really sick. It wasn't like
you couldn't go anywhere.
Right. So the problem is that I didn't realize that they were going to have to talk to me.
All right. You sound like Paula.
So now I'm like, oh, this is a thing. Like I have to sit there with my phone and like we're chatting and I'm like,
if you want to get what you want and you don't want to be frustrated and furious, then it's to your benefit to do so.
Yeah.
And now I will say that when Instacart first became a thing in the pandemic, it was compared to how it is now, 100% better than it was.
Okay.
Way better. And the more you use it, so like I'm basically a platinum user now.
Oh God.
So I only get platinum shoppers.
So you get the better.
I get beyond better. I get shoppers who do this full time. It's the only job they do.
So they're very good.
Very good.
They probably know those stores like the back of their hand.
They know them like the back of their hand.
So it's fast.
So when they get a platinum person who's ordering, they're quick to snatch it because 1, they know I'm a good tipper. 2, they know I communicate well.
Yes.
3, they know that I know the system so well that I've chosen my replacements in advance. So
so they don't have to ask you anything.
Nothing. I mean, and unless they absolutely like, even if my replacements aren't like, okay, we tried to get the milk you said if they didn't have your milk and they don't even have that milk.
Right.
So now we have to talk.
Okay.
So So there's a way to do it. There's a way to do it.
I got it. I get it. Okay.
But it requires a lot of time and effort. So if you're just one of those people who occasionally will use Instacart, yes, you're going to get the guys who are doing it as a part-time job and they really don't know the fucking store and they're bugging you all the time.
All right.
Yes.
That's why it was annoying then.
Yes.
So I just need to work. I need to use it more or don't use it at all.
Right. And for you, and because I know you so well, I would think that unless you're in a predicament and you're in a pickle and you need something right away, then if it's stuff that you like, okay, this is mostly like staples and stuff and I need it tomorrow is fine.
Yes.
Amazon Fresh is miraculous because there's no human interaction. If they don't have what you need, you just don't get it.
Don't get it.
You get a you were refunded.
That happened to me for sure.
Absolutely.
Anyway. All right. Well, with that being said, if you are celebrating Thanksgiving,
Yes.
Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy. If
Happy
you're
Turkey Day.
Enjoy your turkey, your meat, your ham,
whatever
your
it is,
pasta, whatever
all
it
of
is,
the above.
whatever it is you're having. Your
oh yeah,
eggs.
that's probably why my algorithm has been like scallop potato recipes and
yes, all the
green bean
foods.
recipes,
whatever they are. I am trying a green bean casserole this year.
I'm gonna try it with fresh green beans.
I'm making it from scratch.
Do you always make it with fresh green
I've
beans?
never made it.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to try it this year. And I would only ever do fresh green beans.
Well, a lot of people, for them, the tradition is using canned green beans.
I know.
Like it's the only flavor profile / texture they know.
Such a salt bomb.
But it is. Well, I buy it with no salt, but yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so happy Turkey Day. Gobble, gobble. Enjoy the parade. Enjoy the games, all the fun.
Yay!
And then you and I will be back after the holiday. First week of December, we'll be back with our show. We will be recapping the finale of The Golden Bachelor.
Which I am so excited.
Which will be, and then we got to come up with another one.
Well, I mean, I'm hoping that they're going to announce. So we talked about the Top Chef thing, and I was going through my memories because
it's spring.
Well, here's the thing. So when my son was born, and I just had his birthday.
Yeah.
So every year on Facebook, I get all my memories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so every November, I get my memories from my son's birthday because I almost always post something on that. And the memory from my son's birth was I said, I have been in the hospital for 5 days, but it's the season premiere of Top Chef.
Did you look up to see when it's starting?
Well, no, but so when I said, I always remember Top Chef starting in November, that was real. It always used to start in November. It does it now, but I don't know why they changed it and when they changed it too. So I will look it up, but that's why I feel like it's been so long. I'm like, damn, that thing should be coming out soon.
We'll find, I'm sure we'll find something. We'll figure it out.
Well, The Crown's coming out, but I don't know if anybody cares about that.
Probably not. We'll find a reality show. I'm sure we'll find something. I've had some suggestions from my kids, but it's a streaming show. So we'll see. We'll see.
We'll figure it out.
So thank you very much, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye.